My spiritual awakening, the first one or the second one? There's two. The first one.
Yeah, start with the first one.
The first one is the spiritual awakening. I don't even know what to call it, but it's almost like a self-realization. People call it spiritual awakening because it usually has to do with something supernatural, right? It has to do with something that's can't be explained scientifically. It's usually out of this world. But for me, it happened many years ago. I think it was in 2014, beginning of 2014, I think, if my memory is correct. And it happened kind of randomly. I mean, it's not really an awakening, but it's what happened is something triggered me, something dormant in me awakened. And one day I was just relaxing, I was just chilling at home. The night before I was partying with my friends. I was having my, regular 9 to 5, partying, drinking, normal stuff that normal people do. And then we partied on the Saturday night, and then on the Sunday morning, it was just like a normal day. And then anyway, fast forward to the afternoon, that Sunday afternoon, I was lying down, I was chilling, and I was just feeling very, very relaxed, and I closed my eyes, and I was awake, I was in sleep, right? And then I started seeing, the first thing I saw was this eye. There was an eye, like this, and it was right here, staring at me, just one eye, not two eyes. And it was kind of a scary eye, it wasn't like a pleasant eye. Is it the eye of horrors? Maybe, maybe not. But it was one eye, and it was staring at me for a while, for like a few minutes. And then after that, I started seeing a lot of faces and a lot of images. Like a lot of these faces were scary. Some of them were actually like alien looking, like the Greys, and some of them were demonic, like demons and creatures, and some of them were like just human faces that I didn't know who they were. And I started seeing them coming and moving, and while the eye was right there in the middle. And that stuff didn't go away. I kept seeing it for the whole evening and then the whole night, and I had trouble sleeping because every time I close my eyes I see it there. And then next thing you know, it was there for at least 3-4 months. Every time I closed my eyes, that stuff was there, and I could never explain it. And it was also mixed with like vortices of color. It's almost like I go into another dimension and I'm out of my body and I start seeing things. I had cases where hey buddy, I had cases where see, dog is just following me all the time. I love them. I had cases where once I saw like the universe. I saw like how you see the sky in a beautiful night and you see so many stars. So for the first few months I saw that quite a lot, where I would just see space or like the dark sky and a lot of stars. And mind you, everything I'm seeing is with my eyes closed, but I'm aware. I'm awake. I'm awake, but my eyes are closed. And that's when I started doing research about what the hell is happening to me, because I couldn't explain it. I was actually scared in the beginning. I was worried that something is wrong with me. And I remember I checked it online, and I read this one comment on a blog that said, if you experience this, that means your third eye is starting to open. And then I was like, what the hell is the third eye? I didn't even know what the third eye meant. I had no idea about any spiritual concept, any of this stuff I didn't know. But even now, like, you wonder, is that really the third eye? Is there a third eye? I mean, most people will argue, no, there is a third eye. It's the pineal gland. Even science has proved it, blah, blah, blah. But then how do you explain it? All of these things that I was able to see, and I still see sometimes, how can you say it's your pineal gland that actually sees them, or is it just your mind? Because the pineal gland releases DMT, and it's what's responsible for our dreams. So when we see dreams, we see things in dreams. That's the pineal gland that controls that. So yes, it could be the pineal gland that controls these visions that I have, but then is that the third eye? Or why should it be labeled an eye? What is it really? We always have to ask questions versus just taking any concept and saying, yes, this is it. This must be the third eye. It could be the third eye, but what if it's something else? And some other visions I had were very unexplainable. Like I would see myself in other environments, like I would see myself, for example, in a different room, right? And it's crystal clear and it's colors, but the room would look like it's from some sort of castle or something. So maybe I'm tapping into some sort of past time, or I'm tapping into some future time. I don't know what it is, but I'm tapping into something that I can't explain. And I started having these visions over and over until I almost started getting used to them. But one thing that kept happening a lot is that those scary faces or entities or demons, whatever you want to call them, they kept showing. They wouldn't leave me alone. They kept coming to me every time I closed my eyes. They kept showing. So that's when that's when I started really researching about how to deal with this, because I was scared. And I came across meditation. I was drawn to meditation because, to me, those visions that I saw happened to me when my eyes were closed, when I was in a meditative state, basically. So that's why when people say they can't meditate, it's because it's not for them. For me, meditated resonated with me right away. Why? Because the visions I had were at a meditative state, which means that for me, I was like, okay, this is a cool tool, I'm gonna use it. So I'm gonna start learning about meditation, and then I can see more things. And you know what's funny? I thought everyone saw stuff. I would talk to everyone who meditates, and I would say, so what do you see? I talk to people as if seeing stuff when you meditate is a normal thing. Do you see faces? Do you see an eye? Do you see other environments? And sometimes people, they get intimidated and they tell me, yeah, I see energy and I see colors, and I'm like, can you elaborate? Like, what do you really see? And they don't know what to say. They're just like, just colors and energy, and I'm like, do you see like faces? Do you see? And then no, I don't. Because for me, I see faces like imagine like a demon face is just right here, and it's like I make it sound funny, but it's real. In the beginning, it used to scare the shit out of me, but now I'm not scared at all, because I learned how to deal with it. So I learned about meditation, and it clicked. Meditation clicked with me right away, and I became so good at it. Started by doing 2 minutes at first, then the 2 minutes became 3, then became 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, then 30 minutes, then 1 hour. I can meditate for 30 minutes just like that, very, very, very easily. Like I don't struggle staying at the same place, doing the lotus position, in the lotus positions with my legs crossed for 30 minutes, 1 hour. I don't struggle. I can do it very easily, whereas other people struggle. Meditation helped me in the beginning, and for years. I was doing it for years and years. Actually, the more I meditated, the more I was able to see other things. Those visions started to become clearer and clearer. Why? Because I was focused. I would just be sitting there and just focused on the things that I see, the things that come to me. And many times I would see myself flying over mountains, or flying over the pyramids, for example, pyramids of Egypt, or I would see myself having the bird view and flying over like nature, or and it's very clear, and I feel myself there. And it's very different from lucid dreaming. It's not lucid dreaming. I just want to make this, because what I see, these visions, they come to me. I don't create them. I just sit, I close my eyes, and they come to me. And but still, the thing that I was struggling with is those demonic faces or demons or entities. I had to deal with them. I had to find a way to deal with them. And then I did more research. I read stuff, and then I came across something that says the power is always within you. If you don't want them to come to you, you can just tell them to go away. It's very simple. It's funny because a lot of people would do rituals, and they would do these kind of protocol, if you will. You know, humans love to do protocol. They just think it makes things more fancy. Protocol and a ritual is just a protocol. That's what I think. But for me, it was like, okay, if I don't want them in my space, I just have to tell them to not be in my space. And I'm like, let me try it out. But you have to be firm about it, and you have to believe it. You just have to believe it 100%, zero doubt. So I close my eyes one of those nights, and I'm like, okay, because this was giving me trouble sleeping. I couldn't sleep because of these entities. They would try to scare me. So one night I closed my eyes, they started coming, and I told them, no, you don't belong here. This is the place of love. This is the place of light, because I was obsessed with light back then too, without knowing what the dark is. But it worked, and I said, leave now. You are not allowed. I order you to leave right now. I order you to leave. Guess what happens? Just like that, they disappear right away. So those entities disappeared just because I asked them to. And you can do it too. If you have any entity in your space that's bothering you or in your mind, you can just order it to leave. Because if it doesn't belong to you, you can just tell it, you don't belong here, I need you to leave right now. And that's what I did. And it solved the problem right away. It worked. For me, it worked. Because I believed it. Because I know I'm the creator of my own reality. And if I don't want these things to be in my space, they won't. So I was letting them. I was allowing them or inviting them to be there. But subconsciously. But the whole thing about spiritual awakening, why all of this was happening to me, is just to make me realize that there's more to just what we do in life, which is working, making money, getting married, having kids, having a normal, boring life. There's more to it. This was happening to me to prove me, or so if you will, to prove myself that life is more exciting. Life is more magical. There's more cool things about life. Things that you can't see, things that other people can't see. It's not just about the grind and working every day, which I did for many years, for almost a decade. The grind, I was part of it, 9 to 5 every day, 9 to 6, 9 to 7. And it kills you, it crushes your soul, But I think anyone who's going through a spiritual awakening, anyone who's starting to see things or experience supernatural stuff or energies or ghosts or entities or healing, if you're experiencing that, it's to tell you that life is more exciting, that there's more to life than what we were told. There's more to life than the boring stuff, right? And it was just the beginning of my journey, the beginning. But then I was falling into a trap, the trap of following a new religion. I came out of one religion just to go to another religion, the religion of spirituality. And it's good because in the beginning it helped me. It's okay. It was helpful in the beginning, but now I'm trying to create my own thing, my own reality with my own experiences, not just to take other people's experiences and making them a religion and start to following them. Because that's what most people do. They're just like, oh, do you know this? Have you heard of this? You should follow it because this person had it. And then I'm like, well, what about you? What did you have? What did you experience? Tell me about you. Don't tell me what others have experienced, you know? And that's how religions are created normally. And people forget their power, and they're like, oh, now there's this thing called spirituality, and I'm gonna follow it because it works for other people. But what if it doesn't work for you? So when I say, so for meditation, it did help me, but it's not the ultimate answer. Spirituality is not the ultimate answer. All of these tools that we use, nothing is the ultimate answer. You have to find your own answer. You have to find your own thing. You can use these concepts to help you in the beginning, but don't get attached to them. You see, humans, what the mistake they do is they get attached to things, anything, objects, physical objects like houses and cars and clothes, and non-physical objects too, or non-physical concepts like religions and philosophies. They get attached, right? And if anyone comes and say, oh, what you believe in is maybe not true, they get irritated and they get frustrated because they're attached. Why do you think a lot of religious people are very reactive, right? Because they're so attached to the religion.